Bobcats. Davis Ragland, pick six. Feldman, that one will get in. That's a good point right there. A shot coming here. That's a goal. Lifted to left center field. Gets off the warning track into the wall. Transition three. Boom! Knocks that one down. And it's a goal. What a beautiful play. Dutton, look what I found over to first. Gets a 3-on-1 all the way. Yes! There he goes. Welcome out to Bobcat Live, Wayward Social. We are on the Gutter Point patio. Great to have you tuned in tonight. I'm Brandon Lewis, and we'll get going right out of the gate. Jen O'Neill with the volleyball program joining us here tonight, and we just found out at the 12th hour, I guess you could say, postseason assignments. It's always interesting this time of year. You know, you look at football, and pretty much everything's going to be decided after your season's over, but with some sports, softball, baseball, soccer, other sports, and volleyball included in that, you do find out your postseason opponent before the season's over. Does that kind of make it hard to be like, okay, now we know who we're playing in the postseason, but hey, we still got conference to figure out, all that kind of stuff?
I don't know if it makes it hard. It's just, one more thing to focus on. So maybe not hard, but great. Now we can focus on who.
Yeah.
Instead of just still wondering who it's going to be, so as we take it match by match, game by game, night by night, we still now know who we're playing, and so we can start scouting, we can start pulling film, we can start pulling stats, and just, I think, gives us more time to be prepared for that match.
So how much time do you spend, or how far ahead do you look usually when you're kind of preparing in season like this? Are you looking maybe a couple of opponents ahead so you don't have to do so much legwork, a day or two before a match?
Yeah, I think I personally myself start looking ahead, and then as a team, it's one at a time. Mm-hmm. With my coaches, we look a little bit ahead too. I like to scout as much as I can, with the system we use for film. Not everybody puts film out there for you to see, so you kind of have to get what you can, but Bound does a really good job of getting some stats and just some tendencies. You can kind of make some determinations based on that. When we went to our last tournament in Cedar Falls, I didn't have film on the teams that we were playing, but I was able to get on Bound, look at stats, determine, okay, they must run a 5-1 because their setter has 300 assists already this season and no one else has that many. So you can start to figure some things out. So I'm a data person. I love numbers, and crunching numbers and doing that research. So yeah, I'll start looking at Iowa City West probably tonight.
Yeah, so that will be your opponent. You get a first round bye. Now the Bobcats last year didn't get the first round bye. They were able to host though, as they took on Des Moines North. The Polar Bears took care of business, and then were awarded a trip to take on Johnston, which I want to say almost all their starting six out there was going to the next level to play, it seemed like. Very good team last year. This year, you're going to get that first-round bye and take on Iowa City West. I'm sure you don't know a ton about them, but they come from the eastern portion of the state and will be a very good road challenge and a test for your team. But, you've been on the road a lot this year.
We really have, and honestly, we have been pretty successful on the road. So we have that going for us too. Really, any game that we go into, any match we go into, I think I said this before when we've talked, we're always stepping onto the court thinking we're going to win. Our game plan is ready. Our, work that we've put into practice and our focus, we're stepping out with the goal of coming away with that win. And so we've been able to successfully do that on the road during our duels, gotten better with our tournaments. Our last tournament, we went 2-2, which was great. And so, while I'd really love to have a home game and get a home crowd there, I just am appreciative of the opportunity to play, and I think I told our AD a little bit ago when I texted him the pairings, I'm like, I'm not mad at our draw. I'm kind of excited. Somebody new. We haven't played any of these teams yet, so that's good.
Yeah, and that's the thing about postseason too. I mean, it's a fresh start. No matter how your regular season is gone, it's a new season, and anything can happen.
Absolutely. It's kind of like a second season, right? You take all the things that you learned from the first one. We'll rep that first round bye gives us a couple of extra days of practice, and so we're just going to take everything that we've been learning and working on, and now it's go time, because now you lose and that's it. And these 8 seniors, they want to hang on to this season as long as possible and keep playing together as long as possible, because this will be it for them. So I think that plays into it a little bit too.
Well, your 8 seniors were enjoying themselves last Tuesday in a 3-0 win against Des Moines North. For the first time all season, I think I saw some of your ladies singing and enjoying themselves during timeouts. Being up 2-0 when that's going, I'm sure you can be a little more relaxed in that kind of situation to have some fun. But it was good to see, because there's a lot of hard work. It's a long season. You started all the way back in August, and now you kind of work up to this point. So to be able to have the success, 5-1 in conference to this point, I know you have another conference match tomorrow night at home against Des Moines East, but to have the success and see them handle their business like they did, have some fun, but also go out and win a match 3-0 says a lot about their performance out there.
Absolutely. And I tell them, like, my fun is winning, being competitive and, all those things, like, that's my fun. So yeah, they definitely deserve to take a breath and have a little fun. We kind of had a marathon there a little bit, where we had a tournament and a match right back to back. And so some of that too was like, okay, we can breathe a little bit. So, while we'll continue to have fun, our fun will hopefully look a little bit more like my fun as we move forward. So.
There's nothing wrong with your version of fun, because that's never a bad thing, winning. As you get in some of these tournaments, so you get in these tough situations where you're trying to win the best of 3, and we talked about it a little bit, where you might be down 1-0 to begin and that kind of thing. So with all those different challenges, and you've taken on teams in the CIML this year, I guess what I'm getting down to is, how battle-tested do you feel this team is for postseason?
I think very battle-tested, for sure. And we'll continue to get that. We traveled to Oskaloosa this weekend, which is always a good tournament. Our first game is actually against Ottumwa, who is first in the South Division of the Alliance Conference, and this is the time that we'll get to see them. And so I think that'll be a good test for us too. And I welcome, continuing to have these tests against teams who statistically on paper, or their season is lending it to success. I think that's really good for us, because the more that we can see that, the better we can prepare for the longevity of our season, which is absolutely our goal.
So your final home match of the year is tomorrow night against Des Moines East. What do you know about East heading into this one, trying to get your 6th conference victory?
Yeah, I definitely think you can't overlook anyone, for sure. I believe they're 2-5 in conference right now. Similar to maybe some teams that we've played, but really for this match, because, like I said, we kind of had that long stretch of playing, and then, we've really needed to refocus. We've really just been taking care of our side of the net right now. And that's what we're going into tomorrow night. We've also put some focus this week on, we're also having, it's our Dig Pink night. And so we've talked a lot about what does that really mean? We've partnered with the Side Out Foundation, who raises money toward helping research and funding medication for people with metastatic breast cancer. And our kids are really embracing that too. So that, our focus is definitely what we're doing on the court, but also how are we as a community giving back and supporting other people too. So yeah, we've been continuing to talk about and rep those things that we still need to work on. We're getting better at, we're seeing progress, but we're still not quite to that level that we all as a system want to be at. So that, hopefully you'll see that tomorrow night. Again, our quickness, our aggressiveness, our communication. We're really, really working on our footwork right now. I think as we get later into the season, we have some kids who've been out sick, some things are going around. We're a little tired and sore. So it's really, how do we persevere through that so that we continue to go as far as we want to make it?
So tomorrow night is Dig Pink, and you mentioned with the Side Out Foundation, I know Kaylee Pashung, I'm not sure if she's the one that helped get it going, but it's been going on for a while, and I talked to her just about the proceeds, and you touched on that a little bit. Plus, I know you do other things during the game, I believe a silent auction usually, that kind of thing. So what can fans expect tomorrow night during the match?
Yeah, each of our groups of kids are putting together some baskets now for silent auction this year, so that'll be kind of fun. I think the seniors theme was Night on the Town, and they're getting some local businesses to donate some things. So hoping to raise some money there. And we've got a movie night basket coming. We have a pink basket coming, and then like a self-care basket. That might be the one that I
treat yourself.
Yeah, treat yourself and relax. So they've been really good with that. We're gonna do a 50-50 raffle. We'll have our bake sale. Like I think they started that. This will be the 4th year the partnership with Side Out, so they started that the first year too. And we have lots of girls actually who are going to do some baking, and then some parents and grandparents. And so they can expect that. We'll pass the bucket around in between sets, and we do have a fundraising page that you can donate directly to also. That's on our MHS Bobcat Volleyball Facebook page. It's also on our Instagram, and I believe now on our TikTok. So check us out on all the socials, and you'll find some more information there too.
Awesome. All right, so Oskaloosa this weekend, and then next Saturday is the conference tournament. That will be in Fort Dodge. Found out about that, and that'll be obviously a good tune-up, and you want to come out on top. There's some good competition. It seems like Ames has really been – are they the top team that everyone's kind of gunning for right now in that tournament?
Honestly, I think it's Ottumwa.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched a little bit of Ames, and Fort Dodge played last night, and they Ames took it in 3 sets, but Fort Dodge gave them a little bit of a run for their money here and there. So it'll be from our side, it's Ames, Fort Dodge and us, and then from the south it's Ottumwa and Roosevelt and Lincoln. So good competition. It's the top 3 from each side, and we're really hoping to come out on top. We want to see Ames again. I do know that.
Get a little revenge there.
That would be great.
Yeah, that is for sure. All right, I better let you go because you've got something going on tonight.
Last team dinner.
Yeah.
So crazy.
All
yeah,
right.
last team dinner.
Yeah, we'll enjoy it.
Thank you so
much.
All
right, Jen O'Neill, head volleyball coach for the Marshalltown Bobcats, in action inside the Roundhouse tomorrow night against Des Moines East. When we come back, we'll talk girls swimming with Angie Nelson, as well as a couple of the athletes on the swim and dive team. This is Bobcat Live at Wayward Social on KFJB-TV.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social. And that's just on the inside. Step outside and enjoy patio life at Gutter Point with drinks, shuffleboard, live music, and fun atmosphere. Follow Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to plan your next visit to the place for fun.
You planned and saved for your child to go to college, but medical school after graduation was a surprise. A happy, expensive surprise. Wells Fargo Advisors can help. For more than 125 years, we've created wealth management and investment strategies aimed at achieving our clients' personal financial goals. When opportunities surprise you, turn to Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far.
Wells Fargo Advisors is located at 14 East South Ridge Road in Marshalltown. Call them at 641-752-5401. They're a member SIPC.
Live on stage is country. Live on stage is rock and roll. Live on stage is classical. Live on stage is jazz. One of the hottest up-and-coming acts in the country pop genre come to Marshalltown October 22nd. The Hull Sisters combine stunning harmonies with brilliant musicianship. They've performed at the Grand Ole Opry and bring their show to Marshalltown's Performing Arts Center. Tickets are $25 each or free with your Live on Stage subscription. The Hull Sisters, Tuesday, October 22nd.
Welcome back to Bobcat Live here on KFJB-TV, talking girls swim and dive. Leah Hernandez, Kate Hauser, and head coach Angie Nelson with us. How are you?
Good.
Good. I feel like I haven't seen you because last time you were on, Dylan was on the program. I'll have you move your mic up just a hair. We want to make sure we get the full Angie experience here tonight.
Okay.
So he got a chance to talk with you, but I know you've been happy with how the season is going so far. 5-1 overall in conference meets. You're 13-2 overall. Really good performance by your team last Tuesday as you took on Hoover and got the victory, got first place. So your assessment of how everyone on the swim and dive is doing so far.
Well, I'll just tell you, we really started out this season with a lot of momentum, a lot of excitement, and a lot of enthusiasm. The last couple of weeks, a little bit of a drain, I would say. We've just had a lot going on with homecoming at West Marshall, homecoming at Marshalltown. And then this week is conference week, so that just kind of changes everything just a little bit. But we're at the point of the season where we're down to a meet each week instead of pulling 2 or 3. That's really helpful for us because we have a little bit more time to grind in between each meet. We were a little bit tired last night. I underestimated Des Moines Lincoln, and we couldn't pull that one out. We swam all right. We swam not our best at Hoover, but we were able to best those teams that were down there. So we're just really looking forward to. We have one more dual meet with Des Moines East next Tuesday, and then we kind of start our championship stuff. We've got a diving invite here that we host, and then we'll also be hosting the diving and swimming for the conference meet here.
So Lincoln, tell me a little bit about last night. Who was all there in that meet?
Just Des Moines Lincoln
It was just
and
head-to-head,
us.
okay.
Yeah, we lost it by 12. So we went through the stats today at practice, and there were probably about 6 places we could have grabbed a few extra points to make it a little closer, but we just weren't up for it. And we had some good swims, and we've got some girls who are really going to tug along here at the end of the season. I think it's time to shift our focus to the end of the season. That's where we want to be, and we'll just kind of grind through the next couple of weeks. But if we don't get tired, we can't taper, and if you can't taper, we're not going to do awesome at the regional, which is our qualifier meet for state. So we really, really need to be tired, and then we'll let it loose, and they're going to swim awesome.
Coach Lupe's explained to me the tapering aspect. Now, basically, you kind of go hard, and then you just kind of pull the reins off. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. You kind of work, get tired out, and then all of a sudden you just start pulling it back really nice and gentle-like, and then by the time you girls are tapered and rested, they feel really, really good. It's a little bit different for diving. It's a different kind of preparation. It's a little bit more mental preparation instead of just kind of coming down and resting a little bit.
Yeah. So, Kate, tell me a little bit, because you dive, but you also, I saw you have swam a little, like the 50 freestyle, right? So how's that, like have you ever been at an event where you're doing swim and dive in the same day, or is it typically kind of separate?
Yeah, every meet I swim at least 2 events, and then I dive. I generally don't like to swim right before I dive, so I will swim at the beginning of the meet. Okay. And then maybe right after I dive, but yeah, so I just do both.
Yeah. So how's that like balancing both? Because they're, the diving is extreme technique, and then the swimming is just, I mean, there's technique, don't get me wrong, but you're definitely trying to go, as fast as you can down the lanes.
Well, I did a short blue wave season with my friend just because she's graduating, so I kind of got the technique down. And then I just carry that over when I swim a 50, and really I just focus on having a good start, having a good dive, so I can just continue and grow faster and faster.
Yeah. How long have you been diving?
I joined halfway through my freshman year. Okay, all right.
And you've had a lot of success, so where do you think that's kind of come from? I mean, picking up freshman year and into now, what do you think has led to your success?
I would say doing gymnastics. I started when I was 5 and would have 20-plus hours a week of practice, so the flipping aspect of it and the air awareness, just being able to work hard definitely came from the years of gymnastics, because I quit halfway through my freshman year, which is why I joined diving. Okay. So I just immediately joined diving, and so it really helped me pick up on it. Yeah.
So you must love it then, huh?
Yeah.
That's good. All right. So I'm not extremely well versed in swim, so I went down a swim rabbit hole to try to learn a little bit today about the diving side of things. So the 1 meter dive is 6 and 11, and I was trying to figure out what the differences were. So the 6 dive, 1 voluntary dive, and 5 optional dives. Is that correct? And then the 11 dive, you perform dives from all dive categories.
Yes.
And that's where I was wondering, okay, so what are the dive categories?
Okay, so the first, it goes, so 1 through 5. First is fronts, and obviously you go forward. And then second is back. Third is reverse, where you go front off the board and flip backwards. Okay. And then 4th is inward, where you start backwards and you flip forwards. And then 5 is anything with a twist in it.
Okay. Wow. So which one do you like to do the most?
I would say right now, my reverses are my favorite thing to do, or twisters.
Okay. Wow. I've never been a good diver whatsoever, so I can't imagine how much repetition it takes to be able to nail those consistently, right? I mean, how many hours do you think you're putting in at the pool to be able to execute these dives and make sure that the judges, like your technique and all that kind of stuff?
I mean, it takes years. Of course, like I started as a freshman, but you're never really completely consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You will always have some days where you may not. But
yeah. That's what. So coaching her, what's it like to be able to see her? You've had a nice list of previous divers that have had success and things like that. So is that something you've kind of learned off of, or talking with Coach Nelson to be able to work on the perfection of the craft?
Well, I think Kate's had a lot of good mentors. We've had a lot of great diving at Marshalltown High School here through the last, I'd say, 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And even before that, we were pretty successful for the few years before that. So she's had a lot of good people to learn from, but she has an amazing skill and awesome body awareness, and that just makes the job all that easier.
You got to have a strong core, right? I mean, because that's the base of doing all the twists and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to have strength and conditioning coach Alan Mann on. Is he in the weight room getting your core good to go for?
He's good. We run our program, and we were just in there earlier here before we took off to come here. So we've got a nice little circuit that we run.
Yeah, that's good. All right, Leah. So you do a whole lot of different things. I was reading 500 freestyle, 100 freestyle, 200 freestyle, 500 freestyle, the 100 backstroke. So you're involved in a lot of different events. How do you kind of manage that as you go throughout? And I'm sure you're not doing all those in one meet, right? How do you go about your day? You kind of know how you're feeling, like I'm good to do the 500 and maybe this other one today, or is it kind of whatever coach says you're doing this one?
Well, it's more about what I work on at practice and what I prepare for the meet the next day. And then a lot of the warm-up, I more focus on what I'm swimming. So that helps a lot with my races and my competition.
Yeah, so when it's a freestyle, you get to kind of choose between how many different, techniques you can do. Like, so how many different ones can you do in a freestyle?
I'd say there's quite a few, maybe.
Okay, all right. So what do you choose then? How to do the freestyle?
More the way that Angie's taught me
Okay.
and the way I've grown up to learn it.
Okay. So, because what do typically some of the swimmers choose in like a freestyle?
Well, Leia's really solid at the sprint events, so when we get closer to the end of the season, you're going to see her swim more 50 and 100 freestyle, because that's really where she excels. She's rated in the power rankings in those two events, and she's just kind of built for speed.
Mm-hmm. That's got to be fun, though, right?
It is. It's exciting.
So what's your best time this year that you've had?
My best time for the 100 free has been a 56, and then the 50 free was a high 25.
Okay. So is it 50 just down and back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So your timing and everything on your turn, and is that a big focus for you in practice when you hit the wall and come back the other way? Is that the big key, or is it just the stretch in between trying to go as fast as you can?
Yeah. Flip turning and, doing your streamlines and exploding off the block is a really big key factor into, getting those times and sprinting well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. The rest of the season, like you mentioned, Angie, kind of winded down here. You feel like everybody's at where they need to be, though?
Yeah, we're tired. That's I just say this as a coach. That's a good thing. Like I said, I would have loved the win last night, but
yeah.
You take some as you can. But the girls are tired. They're working hard. They're putting in a lot of effort in practice, and our goal needs to shift again towards the end of the season. our goal is to get some things to the state meet. We host it here, and we really love it when we can swim there and be a participant there.
Yeah.
We've got some solid potential to get a few events there, and we just need to keep working.
I'll ask both of you. Kate, like when you're diving, is it different everywhere you go? I mean, the board's a little bit different, all that kind of stuff?
Yes, it is. It is.
What did you say?
I said Roosevelt. That's all you need to say.
The board makes a huge difference. It's almost a safety factor.
Okay.
Some boards there isn't any grip, and so if you throw something too hard, if you don't hit it correctly, you can fall off and you will slip off. Or the board at Roosevelt was crooked, lower, like everything was like, and
wow.
Some don't bounce as well. It just, and that's what warm-ups are for. We like to get used to it. Sometimes we have to lower our DD and do an easier dive, just a voluntary. But it all depends.
Makes it challenging, I'm sure.
That's one of the reasons you see the scores fluctuate from week to week. One is because the required dive changes, and there's a cap on the DD there is a 1.8. So she throws a 2.2, a 2.3, and a 2.5 twister, and she can't use any of those when the twist is the lead week. So that and then board conditions. So you'll see the scores fluctuate throughout the season for that particular reason.
Leah, what about being in the pool? Is every pool the same, or do you feel like it's a little bit different? Okay.
No,
all right.
I feel like every pool is different. There's some pools where the walls are slippery. There's some pools where the walls are just don't have enough grip for me to push off on, or the blocks, and that just really it's a really factor for my flip turns and my dives. So
I'm sure it makes you a better swimmer and diver, though, dealing with those different conditions, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
It's good to know how to adjust.
But then state, I'm sure you feel, very comfortable being right here at home, right?
Yes.
That's good stuff. All right, well, thanks and best of luck. We'll talk to you next week.
You'll talk to Leah next week.
Oh, all right. We got the substitute coming in next week. Good deal. Hey, give it up. Angie Nelson, Leah Hernandez, Kate Hauser out here talking swimming. I learned a little tonight, so I appreciate that. Thanks. All right, when we come back, we'll talk eSports on your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
At Sports Plus Sports Medicine and Physical Therapy Center, we customize each patient's treatment plan to their individual needs. What does that mean? It means that not every back or knee problem is treated the same, and that your program will be unique and designed especially for your needs or problem. This improves how quickly you will return to work or sports. The Sports Plus staff is encouraging and takes pride in your successful recovery. This is just one more reason why champions choose Sports Plus Physical Therapy as their favorite place to rehabilitate and train.
McGregor's Furniture and Mattress is your local furniture store in Marshalltown, and they are proud to support Marshalltown Bobcat Athletics. If you want to kick off football season in a new recliner, pass the bread at a beautiful new dining set, or lay up on a luxurious sectional sofa, McGregor's is the right play. Score the mattress of your dreams with an assist from their friendly and knowledgeable staff. You'll be the household MVP when you bring home the winning selections at McGregor's Furniture and Mattress, downtown Marshalltown. Open 7 days a week.
When heading to the stadium, don't forget to scoot through the Scooter's Coffee drive-thru on the way to the game. With a variety of drinks to choose from, you can give your school spirit a quick boost before cheering on the Marshalltown Bobcats. Try one of the fall features like the caramel apple smoothie, a pumpkin spice latte, or maple bourbon cream cold brew to get you through the game. Scooter's Coffee. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. South Center Street in Marshalltown. Proud to support Marshalltown Bobcat football.
Welcome back out to Bobcat Live on KFJB-TV. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button and get upcoming game alerts by turning on those notifications. We've got football coming up on Friday night. 6 o'clock is the pregame show, and kickoff is at 7. It's a Highway 30 rivalry as the Ames Little Cyclones play host to your Marshalltown Bobcats. As we now welcome in Logan Wolf out here to Bobcat Live. As you know a little something about the Highway 30 rivalry. Last night, Super Smash Brothers took on Ames. And Ames, you were telling me a little bit before we got going here tonight, they are definitely one of the tougher teams. They made it to state last year, but your team got some points and were able to stay competitive against Ames.
Yeah. coming off an 0-7 season last year, it was more of a kind of a tune-in, check-in, see where we're at. We started the season out strong, and we knew this was going to be a big match for us. They ended up, taking it 2-0, and they're undefeated this year. But we learned a lot of things, and we had some good results as that game went on.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. When you look at that, what do you think makes a good player in that game? I mean, is it just focus, or what would it be?
Yeah, focus, quick thinking. Myself, I'm not a good player at it, so watching the kids understand the button repetition and what to use and when to use it, and it, if you went old school, it's kind of like an old Street Fighter game, what moves to use when, and how to defend and attack and stuff like that. So definitely not my forte, but I enjoy watching it. If you go, state events huge, the colleges come in for that. So
yeah. This is a program that has put players to the next level at colleges. And MCC has expanded their program. So, you've been involved with it now for how many years? 3 years, right?
3 years. Yep.
3 years. Okay. And so your coaching staff, I know. Sebastian is one of them.
Yes.
Who's all on the coaching staff?
So our fall coach that oversees Super Smash Brothers and Rainbow Six Siege is Sebastian Ramirez. In the winter, we have Overwatch and Rocket League. That's Jose Ramirez. And then our spring coach that oversees Mario Kart and Valorant is Rannon Spees.
Okay. All right. And so how does your role? Are you just Rainbow Six Siege, or do you?
So I oversee all that.
Okay.
It's kind of like the athletic director position, but for esports.
Wow, that's awesome. Did you ever think the program would kind of turn into this?
10 years ago, I would have never thought this was something that would come to high school and blow up on kind of the college scene. I just didn't see it coming. I know it's always been out there kind of sitting on the back burner, but to see it in full impact now, I always tell people 2 years ago, our first season, we sent 5 kids to college on scholarships. And for me, it's just opportunity. If I can get those kids in the door, every parent here knows the price of textbooks, let alone a whole college course. So we're thankful to have that opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. Which is pretty awesome, because I'm sure that only helps getting, recruiting maybe new kids out to the program in high school too. I mean, if they see the success of others, that'll help kind of spur them to come out maybe.
Oh, most definitely. Our biggest impact is the way our seniors work with our freshmen, and something that we see huge in Rainbow Six. We've got that different abilities at different levels. Our seniors are great leaders. We've got a couple seniors that play, but they play side by side with freshmen. Where it's different than traditional sports. Where a lot of times the seniors only play with juniors and so forth. But they kind of spread it around, and they're good mentors. So.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so you talked a little bit about Super Smash Brothers taking on Ames last night, and their next matches, they're going to take on Urbandale on the 22nd and Waukee Northwest on the 29th. Rainbow Six Siege, they had a 2-0 win over Clear Lake on Friday night, and good showing by junior Sam Bennett and sophomore Omar Torres Zabrad. So tell me a little bit about how their season's been going.
Yeah, they're 2-1 right now. Last year we made it to the sub-state playoffs. We fell short to Abraham Lincoln of Council Bluffs. We're looking to punch our ticket this year. We've got, like I said, a good variety of freshmen up to senior. They're playing really well, and we'll see this week if we can finish the halfway through season on a good note. So
yeah,
we've got about 4 games left.
So if people don't know, Rainbow Six Siege, I mean, kind of a first-person shooter game, and then the unique aspect is you're working with teammates in those matches, right?
Oh yeah, it's very tactical. You kind of have to make decisions before you go in a room, which I've got a good background on that with my line of work. So there's definitely some high-level thinking going on before you make a decision. So
yeah. So for people who may not know, you're with the Marshalltown Police Department as well too. So tell me a little bit about your daytime position as opposed to being kind of leader of the esports program.
Yeah, so I'm the school resource officer at the high school. And so I spend all day with the kids and, making sure they're obeying, of course, laws, but, trying to build that police rapport with them. Some of the students here, we do a project during the summer. We do volunteer work, and it's a great time. I have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, that's cool. Did you know you wanted to be a resource officer, or did you start out in a different role?
Not in a million years.
Okay.
every day I thought, man, who would do that job? And then I got into it, and it's been a blessing.
Yeah. Well, that's what you hear from officers, being able to have the community engagement, whether it's cop on a rooftop at a Dunkin' Donuts or at the games or whatever it may be, being able to connect. So the building of the relationships. I'm sure you've ran into kids after they've been in, high school or whatever it may be, and making that impact. How rewarding is that to see that, maybe they're off doing great things?
Oh, it's super rewarding. And I always tell them after I see them, ask them what they're doing and check in on them. And I just want to see them strive for greatness and achieve it eventually. So,
yeah. Who's been an esports participant that's kind of stood out in your mind that has really kind of been a good leader for the esports program?
One that started off our first season, Ethan McGurr. He's now at MCC. He's transferred over to Iowa State. They're kind of starting up an esports program there, but national champion Overwatch with the college, and then took our team to state our first year and took third. Now we've got senior Miles Grego as really kind of being that mentor to pave the way for the next coming years of the classmen that are there.
Awesome. Well, Logan, keep up the great work. Anything else you want to get out about the esports program? If anybody's wondering how to watch, maybe that was one other aspect. You guys do a nice job of kind of helping broadcast some of those matches.
Yeah, if you're looking to tune in, check out YouTube at Bobcat ESports, and like us on Facebook. Give us a follow. We post there daily, so check it out.
All right. And you're subscribed and liking and following KFJB-TV on YouTube, right? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, give it up, Logan Wolf, with us out here at Bobcat Live talking esports. This is your home for the Cats, KFJB-TV.
Life can take unexpected turns. Maybe you started college, but life got in the way. At Marshalltown Community College, we understand. It's never too late to chase your dreams. Come back to where your journey began. Rediscover your passion for learning and let us help you achieve your goals. Schedule a visit today at MarshalltownCommunityCollege.com.
Marshalltown Community College, a step in the right direction.
Small businesses are the backbone of our community. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce reminds you that when you shop locally, you are benefiting members of our community and adding to our local community overall. You'll find local business owners are generally more knowledgeable, provide better service, and even know their customers by name. Marshalltown Area Chamber of Commerce exists to be an advocate for our business community. Membership in the Chamber benefits your business and adds to the strength of our advocacy efforts. For more information on shopping locally and Chamber membership, go to Marshalltown.org.
Back in Bobcat Live on KFJB-TV. Thanks so much for coming out tonight. Appreciate it. As we're now joined by Strength and Conditioning, Alan Mann, also on the football coaching staff. So tell me a little bit about this time of year, how you manage your time, because obviously you've got a new son, you've got the family life, you've got the strength and conditioning, you got the football. How much downtime do you have?
Not a lot. Not a lot. I think I got scolded by Coach Goodvin. That would be Coach Goodvin's dad for not watching enough film. He checked my hours. It wasn't where it needed to be. So
I thought that only happened at the NFL and college level.
No. So I just tucked my tail between my legs and said, "You're right.
Yes,
I'll
yes,
watch
sir.
a little more tonight."
So he's also like quality control, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
That's funny. All right, so obviously season's flying by. Hard to believe already week number 7 heading in. How are the guys feeling? I mean, this is really kind of the grind here at the end of the season for not just you guys, but everybody out there. So how do you keep guys feeling fresh this time of year?
Yeah, it really is. Strength conditioning is a small part of this whole, picture of what it is we're trying to accomplish. We're at a point in the year where we're going to start peaking a little bit, and I guess what I mean by that is our volume, so our reps will go way down in the weight room. So instead of doing 4 or 5 reps per set, we're going to cut it down to 3 or 2 reps. We're still going to stay heavy, depending the sport that is, but our football guys, we're going to stay in that 90% or higher with all of our core lifts because we got to maintain our strength. But cutting back on volume, typically volume leads to soreness, and we beat up enough on them in practice, so it's my job not to beat up on them anymore. So we're getting to that point, and hopefully kids are feeling their best when we play week 9 Valley, because that is what it is we're trying to accomplish, be at our best at the end.
Yeah. All the other programs that are going on, is that kind of the same philosophy too? I know we talked with girls swim just a little bit ago, but maybe that's not so heavy on the lifting side, but maybe the stretching or different workouts you can kind of do non-weight.
Sure, it's very similar. Experience levels may be a little different with other programs. It just depends. Like we had volleyball come in and lift today. It's a little different because we don't have as much data with those kids. I don't see them quite as much throughout the calendar year, so that's partly due to me not having as much information. So we simplify things a little bit. They just lifted for 20 minutes here today. Hopefully they were feeling pretty good heading into practice, and they whatever it is we worked on today, they're not feeling it tomorrow when they go play. Again, that's the goal. We don't want to go into the weight room and then have it transition to practice or a game to where whatever it is we did for our 35 minutes or 45 minutes is affecting their play, because what's most important is what it is they're doing on the playing field.
Yeah. I think last time you were on, we talked a little bit about this, about not seeing some of the cramping that's happened in past years. I haven't noticed. I mean, I know the football team specifically, talking about them, they've had some injuries and things like that, which will happen in a contact sport like that. But some of the minor, things I haven't seen this year. Do you think that's reflective of kind of the off-season changes that you guys made?
Yeah, I think so. We made a change about 4 years ago, I think it was, and since that time, I'm kicking myself a little bit. I wish I would have tracked even more data to kind of back this up. But generally speaking, I think kids are staying healthier. I guess being a little hard on myself, I do need to figure out, and I need to start asking around to people smarter than me. We're having quite a bit of ankle issues this year, whether it be guys are rolling up or if it's things on their own. So I got to try and find a way to kind of figure out to keep our ankles and our feet healthy, because that's been an issue a little bit. But in terms
are we all taping those ankles though?
We shouldn't need to. We shouldn't need to, but I don't know if they are or not.
Believe me, I rolled my ankle plenty of times back in the day, for sure. That's never one, and those are lingering ones.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They definitely can be.
You roll your ankle week 1.
Yep.
You could be still battling at week 9.
Yeah, it is. It's important to remember, though, when you have those types of small injuries, whether it be an ankle or a hamstring or a quad tweak, you got to move it, and you got to, continue to lift and do plyometrics and things like that, because movement creates health, and we got to get blood flow to those areas. That's the only way to heal it. If you ever hear someone tell you to, strictly ice and rest, that's not necessarily true. And I'm not just saying that. I'm not making that up. People smarter than me are telling me to do that, and that's a reality.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't had as much time to work out or be as active since my daughter was born 8 months ago, but I tell you what, my arms are really strong, so I'm just
Well, I tell you
in
what,
those upper body workouts.
Well, I'm having issues in my trap and my back a little bit, and I think it's from holding a 20-pound little boy. I'm not used to that.
Is that what he's up to?
I think so.
Wow. Yeah. Phoebe, she's a little slim, so she's only about a little over 17 pounds.
Yeah.
So
she's probably advanced though in like walking and stuff.
She's starting to. She's getting everything to stand. I did have a great moment today. She's been babbling ma, ma, ma. She babbled dad, dad, dad today for the first time.
There you go.
I was that was an awesome moment.
Good
so
for you.
so that was good stuff. Well, hey, we'll let you go. You probably better get some supper or something.
Absolutely.
But thanks for the time. Oh, by the way, Highway 30 rivalry on Friday. What's your key to victory for the Bobcats?
We need to be more disciplined than maybe we've been in previous weeks. It's not an effort issue, and I don't think it's a physical issue either.
Yeah.
If we do our assignment for the 3.5 to 4 hours we're playing, I think we'll be on the right end of the scoreboard.
All right. That is Alan Mann, strength and conditioning for the Marshalltown Bobcats. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Ty Faltis. He's headed off to States as we'll talk golf right here on KFJB-TV.
At Greg Young Automotive, we go the extra mile for our customers across Iowa. Why do customers choose us and keep coming back? Because our commitment to exceptional service and satisfaction never wavers. With our extensive network of dealerships throughout Iowa, we leverage unbeatable pricing and offer a better inventory selection than other dealerships. Visit any of our 6 locations across the state and experience the Greg Young difference, where we'll go the extra mile for you.
Some drivers trade cars every year or every other year. Some drive their cars till they drop. Whatever kind of driver you are, Lennox Employees Credit Union is here to get you into the car for your style of driving. You're invited to go to our website, lennoxecu.com, for membership eligibility and loan rates, or call the office to talk to a loan officer. The loan process is quick and easy. Low auto loan rates from Lennox Employees Credit Union, 1004 East Main Street in Marshalltown. Member NCUA.
Unlucky. We're gonna have to get creative. Might be in that valley of sin.
That sounds about where I would be at. Yeah.
Back in on Bobcat Live here on KFJB-TV. Brandon Lewis, great to have you along tonight as we talk boys golf now. Ty Fultis joining us. And, of course, you are headed off to the state tournament. What was that feeling like when you knew you shot the best of them all there?
Actually, I thought I didn't win.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
okay.
I bogeyed the last hole. I thought I got beat, but...
You pulled it out?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I was confused.
Bobcats as a team, 6th out of 14 at state qualifying, only missed it by 7 shots. I mean, everybody pretty tight right there at the top. I know the disappointment, as a team not advancing, but when they called your name, I saw the video and of you, coming up and being the champ there. What was that feeling like, and knowing that now you're going to go, try to battle to be the overall state title?
It was good. It was good to complete an accomplishment that I've wanted all these 4 years, and I got it.
Yeah.
And just ready to go on to the next and just have fun.
Yeah. There's been a lot of great golfers in this program, so I'm sure there's something you can kind of learn from everybody. I guess, has there been one moment that stood out in your 4 years at the varsity level that you can kind of look back on and say, hey, that was maybe some really good advice that you learned from one of your peers?
Yeah, freshman year, I got some advice from Grant Griesel. Yeah.
Was it good? Did he yell at you?
Yeah, he did yell at me.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But that is, sometimes you need that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, like, may happen at home. Your parents yell at you, but at the moment you don't think you need it. But then 20 years later, you look back and probably, at least for me.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I thought it was really cool. Did you ever think you could have your own T-shirt?
No, never.
By the way, Adlet Engraving now selling Ty Fultis October Ready State 2024 shirts. So head online to find out how you can order your own. Do you have one lined up? You better have. Somebody better give you one.
Yeah.
So medalist, you shot 1 under at Willow Creek in Norwalk. What do you think led you to be able to get to 70? Did you just feel really comfortable out there at Willow Creek?
Yeah, just some shots led me to better scores, just more pars, and I was just playing steady golf, just trying to not think about my score, and that's all I did the whole time.
Was the course playing tough, or did you think it was playing pretty fair for you?
Well, when we played West Des Moines Valley meet there, the greens were slow, but this time the greens were quicker, so that was a big difference.
Yeah. When you guys started back in August, it was still pretty wet out there on the golf course, and when we have our golf along out there at Elmwood, it was still pretty wet. And then the season progresses, and we haven't really had a whole lot of rain in the past 2 months. So did that kind of change your style of how you read the greens on putting, or maybe how you were driving it or hitting some of your irons?
Yeah, it does make a big difference because it's more firm
Mhm.
when it's dry, and then when it's wet, it's just doesn't roll out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that firm.
You guys had a great showing, obviously at conference. As you guys 4 years in a row now have won conference. I'm sure that was a special feeling too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a great feeling.
Yeah, being able to host though, I'm sure was even better, right? Pretty much everybody in your lineup was able to finish in the top 15. So, was it hosting at home, being comfortable in your environment? Do you think that's kind of what led to you guys being conference champs again?
Yeah, definitely, because we had an advantage. We know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
We know what shots to hit.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about.
Yeah.
It's all about the feeling you have on the course.
That's a challenging course though, because if you're not on your A game, even though how much you may know that course, it could still probably eat you up, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So you shot a 78. You got third place at conference. How's that stack up to maybe your best round there at Elmwood?
I don't know. I didn't know it was going to take a 78 to get to the top 3.
Yeah.
But it was just playing really, really tough. Front 9 couldn't hit any greens.
Mm-hmm.
Just so firm.
Rolling off.
Yeah.
So this year, your 18-hole average was 79. That was best on the team. How'd you feel looking back? Obviously, you're going to state, so you know you're playing well. But coming in, how were you feeling? The expectation obviously was there that you want to get to state and all that kind of stuff. But did you feel like, overall your game was really where you wanted it to be?
Not really. I feel like I could have progressed on my game instead of just being like in the high 70s. Could have toned it down to like mid 70s and just stayed right there. But
yeah, do you remember your 18-hole average last year?
I think it was 80 on the dot.
Okay, 80 on the dot. All right, so you shaved a couple strokes off from a year. So how do you feel like you did that in the off season?
I feel like I don't know. I just feel like I put more time in, just to get my average down. But it really didn't really make a difference. It's just putting out. I don't know.
Yeah, just put in the time. Because golf's
I
such
don't know how to explain that.
Yeah. No,
it's kind of hard.
It's repetition and just the feel for it too.
Yeah.
Golf, the more you play it, the better you're going to be, obviously, and that kind of thing. But how do you feel like your composure? Do you feel like maybe that also made a little bit better? Like you were, every year you kind of learn, you get more comfortable, how to handle yourself when you maybe hit a bad shot and rebound from that.
Yeah, especially that. Like, my mental game has gotten way better throughout these 4 years because I used to throw clubs. I used to,
Your parents are out here. Did they know you were throwing clubs? Yeah. They look surprised. That's awesome. Where do you feel like the program is today to be able to kind of leave off? I don't know if you want to say legacy or whatever, but you talked about looking up to Grant Griesel or that kind of thing. Maybe not looking up to him, but taking some of his advice.
Yeah.
He's a good golfer to look up to, though. That's for sure. So, being able to kind of have an impact on the golf program, knowing multiple years of success of previous golfers, that kind of line for you. How do you kind of feel on that side?
I feel great because it's like progressed so much. I feel like Coach Johnson has gave us some good advice throughout these 4 years just to help our program get better. Just get the golfers to where they need to be and what to accomplish out there.
Do you have plans for after your senior season to go play golf anywhere? Or?
I don't know. Actually, I think I'm going to go to a JUCO college.
Okay.
Just play for 2 years maybe.
Yep. See where it kind of leads you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, 4A state golf qualifiers, do you know anything about the guys that you'll be taking on? One from Bishop Heelan, Iowa City West, Linmar, Norwalk, Sergeant Bluff Luton, Southeast Polk, and Western Dubuque?
I think I can handle with Ty Potter.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Is that a little smack talk early?
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Well, Monday and are you? I can't remember how they do the teams and the individuals. Is it individuals Monday or is it both days for both team and individual?
Both days for team and individual.
I looked at the forecast, but I think last year didn't the state tournament get canceled or one day because of rain? Am I remembering that right? I was thinking one day got canceled last year. Because
I think it was spring.
Yeah.
I think it was girls.
Was it girls? Okay,
so.
It might have been girls is what I was thinking of. But anyway, Monday and Tuesday, best of luck. And everybody back here in Marshalltown will be rooting for you, all right?
Thank you.
All right, that is Ty Fultis. He is headed off to the 4A State Golf Tournament. And we will talk more Bobcat Golf when we come back. This is Bobcat Live on KFJB-TV.
The right insurance agent can make all the difference. Assured Partners agents represent multiple insurance companies. They can pick and choose from a larger variety of outstanding insurance options. Assured Partners also handles life and health insurance and Medicare supplement coverage. With access to local, regional, and national insurance companies, Assured Partners will create policies tailored to the coverage you need. For more information, go online to assuredpartners.com/Marshalltown. Power through partnership with Assured Partners in Marshalltown, Toledo, and West Des Moines.
Legends American Grill is the perfect place to watch your favorite team. Enjoy wings, nachos, steaks, and prime rib available on Friday and Saturday nights. It's game on for great food and your favorite drink to wash it down. You like burgers? Legends has fantastic, unique burger creations like this. The Legends Burger. Absolutely delicious. Gather with friends, enjoy your favorite team's games with the NFL Sunday Ticket, and make some memories. Legends American Grill in Marshalltown and our new Newton location, where the game is always on.
Back in Bobcat Live at Wayward Social. We are out on the Gutter Point patio. Man, it's turned into really nice golf weather here tonight, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
it's going to get cool next week, though, from what I understand.
Yeah. Well, you've had a few of your tournaments, get going at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I'm sure it's been pretty warm, so I'm sure you haven't had any extremely cold mornings.
I can't remember a fall that we've had where I've worn shorts to every meet, and it's just been perfect. It feels like it's been 80, 90 degrees all fall, so it's been perfect golf weather.
Yeah, for sure. Although when the ground gets this hard, it worries me about your iron shots, especially chipping, trying to get under that ball can make it difficult, but your guys have found a way.
Yeah, no, for sure. Our conference meet at Elmwood, I don't remember it playing that difficult from just a firmness standpoint. Jacob can attest that the greens were a challenge that day, and that made the scores go a little bit higher, but ended up working out for us.
Yeah, I mean, did you think a 315 was going to be the overall winning score for a team?
You never know at Elmwood, just because it plays hard for everybody. We have a built-in advantage there because we know it so well, like Ty talked about. But from a scoring perspective, you just go out and take what the course will give you, and it was playing tough that day for sure.
Yeah, talking with Lucas Johnson and Jacob Seeberger here with us on Bobcat Live on KFJB-TV. So conference champs 4 years in a row. Jacob, I know you're a sophomore, but what's it like to kind of get into this group now that is just continuing the long line of success?
It's a good feeling. Last year was a little rough, but finally getting up to that varsity spot was good.
Yeah. All 6 golfers finished in the top 15. Runner-up was Eli Pauly with a 77 at your conference tournament. So what was that like as a coach to see your guys get right up there in the mix of things?
Yeah, that's what you love to see. Your seniors especially that are putting in 4 years with your program and come out on top at the conference meet at home. You can't write it any better than that.
You averaged an 86 on 18 holes. I would take that any day.
Yeah.
where do you feel like you're going to be able to go now from kind of maybe setting this as your baseline, right, as your sophomore year?
Yeah, obviously next year I'd hope to shoot better than that, but thanks to Mark Henson, I've had the ability to play Elmwood for free pretty much on the postseason, so that's good.
How do I get on that plan?
Well, talk to him.
You shot an 80 at state qualifying. You got in 39th place. To be up there in the top 40 golfers at a state meet, I'm sure had to be a really good feeling only being a sophomore.
Yeah, it was a good feeling, but there was a few holes where it was just kind of exploded on me, and I really wish I would have taken advantage of them, but you always leave strokes out there. So.
Yeah. Golf is a shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of sport.
Yep.
Lucas, as you know all too well.
Oh yeah. Yep. you got to bounce back.
Yeah. You talked about your seniors in Ty Faltis, Eli Pauley, Adam Boone. Really good core of those three guys right there. And I think you have a few other seniors on your roster. Right, I believe Taven Dutton, who's out here tonight.
Taven, Carter Bell, Adam Boone. Yep,
Yeah.
Those guys have all done a tremendous job as senior leaders, and they've all stepped into their roles really well. So
that's awesome.
I'm going to miss those guys a lot.
Yeah, for sure. But you've got a lot coming back, including those who placed a lot at your events. Parker Christian, sophomore, Joe Griesel, freshman, and Jacob is a sophomore. So being able to know you've got some guys coming back to kind of continue to push forward, how key is that for you?
Absolutely. You always want to have those different pockets and those nucleus of players that can keep the run moving. And so we've got 3 seniors on the roster, but then we've got guys like Jacob, Parker Christen, Joe Griesel sitting right there. Those guys are going to be the next iteration of Bobcat golf that'll continue it, and we'll keep building.
Now, were you there when Grant Griesel yelled at Ty Faltis?
I can neither confirm nor deny whether I was there. But actually, it probably happened so often that I'm sure I was there. But no, that's what it takes is guys like Grant Griesel, guys like Tate Carlson, who's now an assistant pro at Elmwood, who are part of the program. And it's been so much fun to see over the course of 13 years. Those guys come in as 7th, 8th graders and then grow up and go on to the success that they've had, like Ty's getting to experience this week.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't seen our golf along, I encourage you to watch it on our YouTube channel and kind of get an insight to the boys golf program and just how good guys this is. I mean, there's a great group of guys this year.
Yeah, super fun to hang out with, as you saw in the golf along. They're not only good guys on the golf course, but they're quality human beings. They come from great families. I couldn't say more about the support we get from our parents. It's just been great.
At State, are you going to be there Monday and Tuesday, I'm assuming?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll be there for every shot. Briarwood's a course that we've played at a lot over the years. Ty and I were talking yesterday, kind of strategy off the tees. And, it's a course that is very gettable. There's a lot of birdies out there, but there's also the chance to go out of bounds quite a bit on some of the tee shots. So that's what Ty and I talked about, is just picking those lines off the tee and not putting yourself behind the 8 ball on the first shot of the hole.
Yeah. Well, congrats, guys. State champs, sorry. Conference champs, again, 4th year in a row. Congrats.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Great season. Give it up. Bobcat Boys Golf, conference champs in the Iowa Alliance. When we come back, we'll talk football on KFJB-TV.
Wayward Social is the place for fun. With 20 lanes of bowling, leagues for all levels, great food and drink options, an awesome arcade, there is a ton of fun to be had at Wayward Social. And that's just on the inside. Step outside and enjoy patio life at Gutter Point with drinks, shuffleboard, live music, and fun atmosphere. Follow Wayward Social on Facebook for updates on specials and live music. It is all on South 6th Street in Marshalltown. Visit wayward-social.com to plan your next visit to the place for fun.
Sportsmanship starts with us.
As a student athlete, I need to model good behavior and represent my school appropriately.
That means respecting my teammates, coaches, opponents, the officials, and fans.
If I do that, so will others, and being a good sport becomes a way of life.
To all of Iowa's student athletes getting ready to compete, remember, sportsmanship starts with us.
Back in on Bobcat Live here on KFJB-TV as we talk football now. Kyle Smith and Tyler England on Bobcat Live. Sorry, guys, I got long-winded tonight. Hopefully, but you had practice, so practice probably didn't get over till just a little bit ago. So.
No, it didn't get over till about 35 minutes ago. So
I'm sure it's not bad this time of year. You keep losing light, so practice keeps getting a little bit shorter, right?
Yeah,
right. Guys coming off a 44-17 loss against Waterloo West last week, but I thought you guys played really well. Great effort out there, those kind of things. Final score not quite as indicative of you guys were a touchdown away from being, I think at one point, 41 I can't remember what it was, 31-24 or something like that. Late in the third quarter, defense played really well, kind of tried to keep Waterloo West out of the end zone in that second half. So, I know you guys still looking for the first win of the season against Ames. How have you been kind of maybe in your role as a junior this year trying to keep guys going and staying motivated and going after that first win on Friday night?
Yeah, I've just been just trying to step up as a leader in practice, just trying to get people going. Because we know, if Coach First told us today, he said, you practice how you play. So, so if we go out and practice every day and just give it our all, I think that's just going to carry on to the field and eventually hopefully get that first win.
Kyle Smith here on Bobcat Live. One TD pass you had to Aiden Smitherman a couple weeks ago. You guys kind of hit Ottumwa with that last year. Now you're able to do it again. How awesome was that touchdown that you threw?
That was awesome for me, except I threw the biggest duck of all time. I threw it. I was like, I don't know if it's going to get there, but it got there and we got the touchdown. So
it wasn't crisp, I'll give you that, but it got the job done.
Yep.
You've been kind of all over the place. Obviously, you start at wide receiver. You have an interception on the defensive side, playing in the defensive backfield. What's that like for you in your multiple roles? I know you're out there as a punt returner as well. I mean, I'm sure you got to be really locked in to know, hey, I'm on this play or I'm in this assignment, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I've been locked in, but I just go out there and have fun and just be competitive and just go and play the game. So
yeah. What have you made of this guy to your right so far? He's had a couple good weeks in a row here, huh?
It's had some really good weeks, really good runs. Hit the hole. Once he gets out into the open field, no one's going to be able to stop him because Tyler's really fast. So
yeah,
thank you.
That's the one thing that I've noticed about you. Like last year, you caught our eye. Week number 1 at Mason City last year. You were playing in the freshman game, and we were like, holy smokes, who's this kid? And Mason City didn't have your roster, and so. Did you wear 24 last year?
No, I was 35.
35 last year. Anyway, they just kept saying number 35 on the carry or whatever. So we were trying to figure out. Then we were asking, I think, the coaching staff who this was. So this year, your role increased, unfortunately, due to the Xavier Anderson injury. But you've been able to go in there and spell and get the start. You and Davis Ragland have split carries. In the past couple of weeks, you've really turned it up. You had your first 100-yard rushing game of your varsity career last week against Waterloo West. So is it comfortability level? Do you think that's kind of led to more success?
I think it is. I think start of the year I was kind of just getting used to that new varsity feel of more and more. And as it went on, I kind of just felt it. It kind of just kicked in. I was like, okay, I can do this. It's all just in my head.
Yeah. So when you got your first touchdown of the season against Ottumwa, what was that feeling like getting your first varsity?
It was so good. Because after Newton and everything, I was so hungry for one, and then I finally got it, and it just felt amazing.
Yeah, we were pumped. We thought you had your first touchdown of the year against Newton, but unfortunately it was called back. But then to go out again, you had 94 yards, a couple touchdowns against Ottumwa last week, 120 on the ground with a 61-yard touchdown run. Tell me about that long touchdown run, because it seemed like a little bit of a hesitation move, and then you saw the hole, and you were pulling away from Waterloo West guys.
So all those hesitation runs, they are belly where you kind of need that sort of more. You got to wait, right?
Yeah.
But honestly, I was thinking about it, and then I saw that huge gap, and I was like, you know what? I might as well just run fast through that, see what happens.
Yeah.
But I've been told I'm a very patient runner. So I mean, it's mostly just seeing holes and
Yeah.
thinking about it, taking my time.
So where do you think you kind of develop the vision and feel for the blocking? I mean, how do you go about learning or kind of adjusting your game, because every game might be different. You might be facing a 4 front or a 3 front, so the gaps might be a little bit different or whatever. So how do you kind of work on that, maybe in practice or in game?
I guess that's a hard question. I guess it's mostly practice. I mean, during practice we go against almost every front. I mean, or just every single thing. I mean, when we're doing pods or side pods, we change the fronts, change everything. So I mean, it's kind of just taking what you learn from practice and putting it in the game. So
blowing by somebody or running somebody over?
Mostly blowing by somebody. I don't run many people over during practice.
Kyle, have you been running anybody over lately?
No, I don't do that.
As you guys prepare, it's the Highway 30 rivalry. This is the big game of the year every time in any sport, basketball, that kind of thing. I mean, it's always a game. It doesn't take a whole lot for the Bobcats to get up for those ones. What do you know you need to do well tomorrow to get the victory on the road?
It starts on the defensive side. We know that if we just start off strong, good defensively, and get some couple stops, I know that'll carry on over to the offense and just help us out.
As far as running the ball tomorrow night, how do you feel the game plan going against the Ames Little Cyclones to be able to have success on the ground? What will that be?
I think we have a good game plan going in. I mean, honestly, we're thinking we're going to win this game. There's no doubt in our minds that we're going to go into this game and we're going to land out. There's no doubt. On the run side of things, I mean, I'm gonna run fast.
Most people try to do.
Yeah.
Well, hey, wish you guys nothing but the best of luck in getting that first win of the season. I love the confidence. So
hey, thank you.
Keep it up. Kyle Smith, as well as Tyler England with us on Bobcat Live. Great job, guys.
Hey,
appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll wrap things up and talk with head coach Adam Goodvin when we come back on Bobcat Live on KFJB-TV.
Miller Middle School turns 100 next year. It has served generations of Marshalltown students well. Education has changed dramatically since Miller opened in 1925. Miller faces a long list of challenges, including limited technology capabilities, lack of space for learning, gathering, and new programming to prepare our students for the next step in their journey. Voters will consider a referendum in November to reimagine Miller for future generations. To learn more, go to marshalltowncsdfuture.com.
When heading to the stadium, don't forget to scoot through the Scooters Coffee drive-thru on the way to the game. With a variety of drinks to choose from, you can give your school spirit a quick boost before cheering on the Marshalltown Bobcats. Try one of the fall features like the caramel apple smoothie, a pumpkin spice latte, or maple bourbon cream cold brew to get you through the game. Scooters Coffee. Amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. South Center Street in Marshalltown. Proud to support Marshalltown Bobcat football.
All right, one final time on Bobcat Live. Coach, I don't know if I need to ask anything. I mean, Tyler England pretty much handled it all. That was a very confident answer about tomorrow night against Ames. I like that.
Yeah, that's the mindset you got to have. We talk about it all the time.
Yeah, for sure. You guys, coming off the loss last week to Waterloo West, I was kind of going over that one, and 6 fumbles, 1 interception in that game. A lot of coulda, woulda, shoulda. As you kind of look back to that game, it feels like there's been a multitude of, at least 3 games I can probably kind of look back to. The Mason City game being another one of those. I thought Ottumwa, you kind of had a chance to kind of be around in those games and keep them tight. It seems like defense has really done really well in the second half or in parts of games to help keep you around. It feels like you're just kind of on the cusp of kind of helping, get over that hurdle to get the victory or, have successful halves that result in getting back in games, that kind of stuff. Is that kind of how you feel? Aside from all maybe the negative things that happen, there's still a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah, I think if you look at the woulda, shoulda, couldas, I mean, you're going to drive yourself crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to stay focused on the process and taking it one day at a time and making sure that our kids are getting better every single day, and that's what the focus has got to be, and that's where we're at this moment. And looking back to Friday, you're not going to beat anybody if you turn the ball over 7 times. You just can't, and we know the kids aren't out there trying to do that, but unfortunately, that was the situation we were in, and we did some ball handling drills today to hopefully brushing up on those skills and prevent that from happening this week.
I feel like that's a game that you're right there, and in the end, if the turnovers aren't there, right? I mean, that's kind of just how the rest of the game felt to me, that you played well enough to be right there in that game with them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of how we see it as well, and that's frustrating as well. But again, we can't go back and change that. I think just from the eye test, you look at that game and you go back and rewatch it, and that'll drive you crazy too, just because the fact that we think talent-wise, we're right there with them. Mm-hmm. So. It's just a matter of being locked in mentally and staying crisp and trusting yourself and doing your job.
Yeah, and I mentioned that too, just because you look at Waterloo West and some of the things they've accomplished, and we talked about their big offensive lineman that's committed to Iowa in the next couple of years. So, I mean, that was a very talented team, and so another good test for your team. How's practice been kind of coming off that one?
It's been good. We met as a team on Monday. We rewatched the film from Friday, and we got our minds right. Kind of we talked about what Tyler had touched on. We gotta go in and expecting to win a ball game this Friday, and if that's not your mindset, then we don't want you here, type of thing. Because that's you gotta be gritty. Have a chip on your shoulder in the game of football, and I think our kids understand that, and they are getting better every single day. So it's a grind, and we're just chipping away at it day by day.
I was watching the Ames-Atumwa game from last week. Holy smokes, that was a tight game throughout. Atumwa scored with just under 2 minutes to go to win that game against the Ames Little Cyclones, and it was Chantalavan eating them up in the fourth quarter. He had a couple of really big runs. So that was, I guess you can kind of take something away because that's a common opponent, right? What do you make of Ames kind of coming into this Week 7 matchup?
Well, it's kind of tough. We know, I think, first off, they're 1-5, so they're struggling. I think you look at their starting lineup, both sides of the football, and they got different guys in there, which see like every single week. So it's kind of trying to figure some personnel issues out, figure out what's going on here. And, we think we've got a solid game plan going in based on what we've seen over the past couple weeks. We know there's been some coaching changes over there within the season. And so it's kind of a guessing game from the defensive side of the ball, as far as what we're going to see from Ames's offense. But the one thing we know for sure is that their quarterback's a very talented football player. We saw him a year ago, and he'll run straight through you. As Coach Furch says, he'll run right through your soul. He's a tough kid. He's a tough football player, and he's got a really fast weapon on the outside, and the Roberts kid as well. So, we've practiced against Coach Cox. He's been playing quarterback for us this week in practice and running around and really challenging our kids to flow to the football and have all 11 swarm. And hopefully it can pay off on Friday for us.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned Cam Cantonwine, over 1,500 yards passing. They like to spread it out, but then, they do still run the ball. So a little bit of that kind of, I wouldn't say as well executed maybe, but a little bit similar to what you faced against Davenport North. As far as offensive scheme goes, a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit. I think that's what they're initially trying to do. What the Cantonwine kid can do so well is just extend plays, and we're talking 6, 7, 8 seconds, and very similar to. Oh man, I don't know how long ago that 3-4 years ago the Patton kid from Roosevelt. Very similar type player. Except Cantonwine's not going to just run out of bounds. He'll stay in bounds and try to run you over. So we got to be tough and disciplined.
Yeah, and you bottled him up pretty well when you played him. Beat him at Roosevelt.
Yeah. I think we beat him at home too. It was a really close one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You mentioned it. Tom Crowden started as the year as the new head coach or interim head coach. The previous head coach had left in Sauser, and so to have a new interim coach in place, that doesn't typically happen at the high school level. So I'm sure that's a little bit of a challenge for a program like that.
Yeah, I would imagine that'd be tough. I don't really know a whole lot of details on what's going on. I can imagine, again, you're dealing with 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, and you got some issues going on with that. That'd be difficult. I think, we talk a lot in our leadership stuff about the blaming, complaining, and defending your action stuff, how that's the worst thing you can possibly have within a program. And I'm not saying by any means that's going on over there, but I could see how a culture like that could be happening. But, maybe I'm completely wrong, and those kids are fired up and ready to go on Friday. But either way, our focus is on ourselves and taking care of our business.
Yeah, their defense is averaging giving up 46 points per game. So do you feel like you can be extremely successful running the ball in this one?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we like I said, we've got a pretty good idea of what we're going to see defensively, and kind of what Tyler touched on as well. We go up against every single front we believe we can possibly see every single day in practice as well. So we're not going to see something we haven't seen before.
You'll see new turf.
Yeah, that's true. We haven't seen that before.
They finally got new turf over there in Ames since the last time we were over there a couple of years ago. Final comment here on Ames tomorrow night. I'm sure there's not a whole lot you got to say to get your guys fired up, right? Ames, Marshalltown, always a great rivalry.
Yep. It's it's going to be awesome. We talk about how you only get so many of these opportunities. Football's you play once a week. 9 guaranteed games, and you only get so many with this group of guys. So we talk about not taking any moment for granted, living in the moment every single day. And then Friday night it's going to be another fun opportunity for us to go out and compete and compete for their best buddies, their friends right next to them. So
awesome. And pregame will start at 6 and kickoff is at 7 o'clock I keep saying tomorrow night, but Friday night we will have coverage for you here on KFJB-TV. Coach, thanks for the time.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, that will wrap up Bobcat Live at Wayward Social out on the Gutter Point patio. You have been watching Bobcat Live. I'm Brandon Lewis for our producer, David Braga. Have a good rest of your night. We'll talk to you on Friday. It is Marshalltown and Ames.